begging Huang, right, for more GPUs, managed to finally get back up, finish selling shares worth more than $700 million. Nvidia stock code NVDA, one of the most popular AI plays in the market since the beginning of the year, and it has risen by close to 200%. But somewhere around June, right, over the past 3 to 4 months, we started to see some weakness due to the mega cap technology sector sell down, and also there's some concerns about this AI train losing steam. So where are we right now for Nvidia, right? Is it still a chance to get in to potentially, right, even more upside? What are some of the key levels, and maybe what are some of the news that have came out over the past few weeks? Hey guys, Joey here, top tier advisor trader in Philip Securities. Well, watch this video all the way to the end, where I'll dive into some of the key news. Of course, we'll dive into the charts of Nvidia to see whether what are some of the key levels to potentially time your entry, where are some of the key selling areas or zone that you might want to take some profit as well. That's what we'll cover. Let's go. So let's take a look at some of the news that have came out. You can see right over here, we have Oracle founder Larry Ellison just delivered fantastic news for Nvidia stock investors. Why? So Larry Ellison owns 42% of Oracle, a $465 billion technology giant that is building some of the most powerful data centers for the AI development. So Oracle is a client of Nvidia, which supplies Oracle and most other tech companies with its GPU, graphic processing units, pretty much the whole entire craze. There's huge demand for these chips, and Nvidia has experienced an eye-popping surge in its revenue over the past year, right? So demand for the chips continue to outstrip supply. So there were some concerns that clients of Nvidia like Oracle, even Microsoft, even Amazon, Alphabet, the demand could be slowing down as many of these companies can no longer throw billions of dollars, right, in Nvidia, right, to fuel their AI aspirations. So there are some worries that this AI train may be starting to lose steam, right? And that's the reason why Nvidia actually saw some selling over the past few months. But here's the thing, Larry Ellison had mentioned that Oracle is nowhere close to meeting its AI infrastructure goal. It's nowhere close. Oracle had about 85 data centers up and running with 77 more under construction. Ellison thinks that it could operate as many as 2,000 in the long term. So there's still a huge demand. Ellison from Oracle also told the audience about a dinner he arranged with Tesla CEO and founder Elon Musk, alright, and Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang, alright. And what he says is that he recalled himself and Musk, even Elon Musk, begging Huang, right, for more GPUs, right? Right over here, you can see that, please take our money, take more of it. You're not taking enough. We need you to take more of our money, right? Basically, huge demand for Nvidia's chips. They are willing to buy, they're willing to get a hold of these Blackwell chips to build their infrastructure. So it's not just Oracle buying Nvidia's chips, but we have Microsoft as well spending like $55.7 billion relating to AI infrastructure, all right, during its fiscal 2024 year, and even is planning to spend more in 2025. Similarly, right, Amazon capex spending is on track to top $60 billion, right, on AI infrastructure as well. So we have started to see strength over the past 2 days because there's news that came out that Jensen Huang, right, Nvidia's founder, has finished selling shares worth more than $700 million. So Nvidia has disclosed in an SEC filing earlier this year that Jensen Huang, right, planned to sell up to 6 million shares, right, through March 31st, 2025. So it seems like he has completed selling. He sold about $730 million worth of Nvidia shares between June and September at a price of about $91 to $140. Jensen Huang is still the largest shareholder of Nvidia, and the fact that he has finished selling, that could provide a little bit of a relief. That's why we could start to see a little bit more strength in terms of selling pressure being removed as well. Okay, after looking through some of the news of NVDA, let's dive into the charts right now to see where we are and where can we potentially head to. So you can see right now we are trading at about $123.51. So Nvidia, right, since the beginning of the year, it has been on a pretty strong uptrend after breaking what we call a very key psychological resistance. So it used to be like $500. Of course, they did a stock split a few months back, a 10-for-1 stock split, and prices have adjusted downwards. So this level will be right over here around that $50. You can see somewhere over here. So you can see just a couple of months back, beginning of the year, we were actually trading below this 500. That was before this stock split. So 500 was a very key resistance level now it is $50 because 500 divided by 10 is 50, right? So it adjusted downwards. So when we broke that 500 previously, it went all the way up to more than $1,000, 1,002, 1,003. Of course, now we had a stock split and now prices have adjusted downwards. So very strong rally since I would say beginning of the year, right? And around June, we saw a couple of selling coming back, right? Some very strong resistance came back due to the mega cap technology sell down due to fears or concerns that the AI trade will slowly lose steam, right, as demand were to soften a little bit. But no, right, as I mentioned just now, there's still a lot of demand for Nvidia's AI chips from many of its clients, all right, and this demand is due to be ongoing, right? So let's see where we are right now, $123. Over the past, I would say 3 to 4 months, we have found some really good support level around the $100. You can see 100 was a bit of a resistance. We came all the way back down somewhere around July, retested, came back up, sold back down again in September, and you can see we rebounded again. So this 100 I would say would be a pretty strong psychological support level, and the uptrend in the longer term remains intact as long as we were to stay above that $100 right now. As I mentioned, right, we have already been in a uptrend since last year. In fact, since the beginning of 2023, right, beginning of like last year March, there were already signs of the uptrend in terms of the 100 days moving average, the red line pointing up, the 200 days moving average line, the blue line was also pointing up. So right now you can see the red and blue line, they are both pointing up. The red is still above the blue line, so longer term uptrend is pretty much intact. But of course, in the short term, we can see weakness. That was in March, weakness, right? Of course, I mentioned in June as well, we saw weakness. All right, so short term, we can see a bit of a consolidation, a little bit of weakness, but ultimately, the longer term trend is still up as long as we hold above those key support levels, which is $100, right? But let's take a look at where we are right now in terms of like, can we see a little bit more upside in the short term? So if you look at the short term, right, over the past 2 to 3 weeks, let me just go to draw this line right here. So that would be a little bit of a resistance level. You can see about $120, $120. That was like a bit of a support somewhere in June. You see we broke down, came all the way to 100. Went back up above that 120, you can see came back down again. And over the past 2 weeks, right, look at it, right, we saw a couple of selling pressure. It was like kind of like consolidating below the $120. A couple of bearish candles there, some reversal doji candles came out and we pushed back down a little bit, right? But over the past 2 days, take a look at this right here. So today is like the Wednesday 25th September, Tuesday 24th September. Over the past 2 days, you can see that we managed to finally get back up above the $120. So that's a sign of strength in the short term. Or I mean, longer term trend is up, as I mentioned, since last year. But in the short term, it was like up and down, up and down. Past 3 months, it was like down and then up and down a bit. Now it could be potentially starting to move up. Why? Well, first thing first, we have gone up above this 120. 2 to 3 weeks resistance level that used to be a support. So that's the first thing, right? The second thing is you can see that the 20 days moving average line, right? Prices have also kind of gone above this green line. So this green line is what we call the 20 days moving average line that kind of like represents the short-term trend. So if the line which you like point up with prices above it, that could be a sign of strength. So right now you can see prices have gone above the 20 days moving average line, which potentially can start to slope up over the next few days if we were to stay above that 120. So that could be another signal of some signs of strength in the short term. So where can we potentially head to? Well, I would say that we may head maybe all the way towards the 130 to 140 very key psychological resistance. Since June, we have traded to this level. Look at this, right? One time called a bearish candle, came all the way down. We nearly somewhere around 135 to 130, 140, sold back down. Same thing over here, 130 as well. Some selling came back, we sold back down. So anything from like 130 to 140, it could be 131, it could be 135, 137, 132, in that range, right? That is where potentially some selling pressure or some profit taking that can come back again, and you might want to take some profit near there again, because as I mentioned, we saw some bearish candles over there. So that's where you could expect some sellers to actually come back and lock in some profits as well, right? But what could be the upside targets if we were to kind of break the 140 level? Well, 140 would be a key level. So right now we may see selling, but just take note, guys, if we were to break this 140, so you can see right over here, went down, but maybe, just maybe, right, if you were to break above that 140, maybe in the next few weeks, in the next 1 or 2 months, that could be a good thing. That could be a trigger for more upside to happen. We are already at an all-time high. Look at the back, there's nothing at the back because we are at an all-time high for Nvidia, one of the best performing stock this year, right? So if we were to break above that 140, what could be the upside targets? Since there's nothing to look at on the left, right? Because we are at all-time high, how can we get the targets? What we could do is to kind of like do a little bit of projection. You can see that the range is somewhere around that $20. It used to be like 100 to 120, and then 120 to 140. Right now, same thing. The range is 120 to 140. So about a $20 range. You can see right over here, a $20 range each time as well. So if we to break the 140, potentially, right, upside targets maybe could be revised higher to maybe around that 160 resistance level, right? That is where we could see the uptrend continue even further. All right, so this is Nvidia right now. 1, 2, 3, I think it looks pretty good. Let me just go ahead to turn this red line, the temporary resistance level whereby we have been trading below for 3 weeks. Let me just turn it back to green in color, because now that will be a support as we stay above the 120 over the next few days or next 1 or 2 weeks. I think that could be good. That could be a sign of the reversal slowly continuing all the way up to that 140 resistance level. So there we have it, guys. That is Nvidia, NVDA. I hope you have taken note of some of the news that have came out, right, in terms of the charts as well, where we right now, what some of the levels whereby you could see some heavy selling. And watch the 140, as I mentioned, guys. Alerts have been set. If we do break the 140, I think it could finally be another new phase up. We are out of this 3 to 4 months consolidation level, right? So I hope you like this video, guys. If you want to find out a little bit more in terms of the entire strategy, what I call the one good trend strategy, make sure you attend one of those free webinars that I'm still running. The link is right below. Click on it, attend this webinar whereby I share with you guys the entire framework and even how we have a system to guide us on entry and exit as well. That's where we actually had a couple of a bullish signal, all right, on my 1GT system for Nvidia as well. So attend one of those free webinars to check it out. I'll share with you guys a little bit more in this 2 hours webinar, right? And yeah, if you found some value so far, guys, go to give me a like, smash the subscribe button, hit the follow button so that you will not miss out on any video like this. That will definitely help out the channel as well. Joey here, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon. Take care.